Okay, it's
Alright, never mind. Okay, good morning everyone. My name is Shantasia Basil. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I currently reside in Canarsie. It's a very quiet part of Brooklyn. It's close by the water. I don't really like it too much, but my family just moved there, so we're just getting things started. I come from a very loud and crazy Jamaican family. Jamaica has a population of 2.6 million, which is kind of weird because the island is really, really tiny, and everyone seems to know everyone. And that's about it. So culture had a huge impact on my morals and my beliefs because my family from the older generation, a lot of them believe in gender-based roles. They believe that a woman is supposed to cook and clean and somewhat be obedient to her husband, and I don't believe in those views at all. I'm completely against it. I believe that a woman should be independent, a woman should stand on her own 2 feet. I don't know how to cook, I can clean, so that does not fit me at all. So sometimes there's a huge culture clash with me and the older generation because they think I'm just rebellious, but I just truly don't see eye to eye on them with being women playing second hand to men. That's just one thing I really disagree with on them. A huge thing is religion. Religion, I guess, is a very big part of the Jamaican culture. So some of them, a lot of schools in Jamaica are similar to Catholic schools up here, and religion is not a big part of my life at all. They used to make me go to church every Sunday, and I don't read the Bible, I don't pray, and that's another reason that me and the older generation have a culture clash. My mom's very understanding. She doesn't try to force anything upon me because I am American, I'm not Jamaican, and I don't feel that you can raise someone like how you did back home because it's not the same. Society's different, culture's different, food, clothing, everything's different. Discipline. Discipline is also another big thing that me and people from the West Indies, I just don't agree with. They are very big into discipline. They believe in spanking children, and they believe that no matter how old you get, they're always going to look at you as if you're the child. And that is just one thing that I just don't agree with. At some point, you're going to have to come to your own, and you're going to have to make your own decisions, and you're going to be very independent. But they're still always going to look at you as a child, and they still feel that they have the right to chastise you, which is another reason they feel that I'm rebellious. And respect. Respect is a huge thing. They feel that, well, a lot of people from the older generations, like my grandmother and my grand aunts and my great grandmother, they all feel that respect should, they demand respect. They demand it of you, and I'm to the point where I'm almost 18, I'm a college student, and I demand the same respect in return. But because of how they were raised, they feel that no matter how old you get, you're still the child. Legally, I can vote in a month. I'm not a child. I'm not a baby. Nothing needs to be spoon-fed for me. So that's why respect is kind of difficult to explain to them. They always feel that I'm being disrespectful when I'm truly just stating my own opinion and standing my own ground. Okay. High school. High school was probably the most challenging and difficult time thus far for me. Some people, high school was a breeze. Everything was easy, everything was happy. High school started off for me, my freshman year was probably my worst year in high school. I was bullied a lot. I went to a really small junior high school, and going to a big high school with 3,000 students was a huge transition. People bully you for any and everything. They bully you for wearing too long sneakers, your hair, not wearing makeup, who you're dating. They find anything and everything to bully you on, and that was just a crazy experience for me. From that experience, I learned a lot about self-worth, and I learned that if I can't be happy with myself, then who's gonna be happy with me. But as long as I'm happy with myself, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. So I learned that you have to think about what you love about yourself and not worry about somebody doesn't like you. If you like your hair, it doesn't matter if somebody doesn't like your hair. So I learned a lot about self-worth. Oh, and teachers in my high school played a huge part in helping me get through high school. Two very important teachers are Miss Samuels and Mr. Mullins. They were always there to support me, especially Mr. Mullins. Even to this day, he emailed me the other day to ask how college was going. And a lot of students in my high school hated the teachers, but I loved my teachers. They were very supportive, they were very caring, and there's nothing that I needed in school that I didn't have. Like if I needed counseling or if I needed a book because I forgot it at home, somebody was always there to help me. And the YWCA. The YWCA in my high school was an after-school program that I interned for and I also worked for as a mentor to freshmen. I appreciated that after-school program so much because they did trips for us. They took us to see Broadway shows. A lot of people live in New York City but have never been to a Broadway show. And they took me to see Mary Poppins, The Lion King, and Memphis. And that was a huge part of my high school experience. I stayed with them every day after school. They helped me study for my SATs. I still talk to the people that work there, and they helped me a lot when I was applying for college because I had no idea where I wanted to go, what I wanted to study. And they counseled me whenever I needed counseling. They were just people who were always there for me. And that brings me to my family. I grew up in a family of nurses, and that had always inspired me to want to become a nurse. That's actually why I came to SUNY Cal High. Right now I'm a liberal arts major, but I want to transfer into nursing, and nursing has just always been a big part of my life. My uncle, my aunt, and a few cousins are nurses, and I used to see my uncle every day, and he would just be so happy. So when he came home, but as I got older, I realized he wasn't happy because he was a nurse, but he was just happy because he was home. But I just always found it interesting. I used to try on their smocks and run around. And I used to go to school for career day. I used to dress up as a nurse all the time. Career day. Career day in elementary school, my uncle and my aunt would always come. They would let me play with the stethoscope, and they would take my blood pressure, and I would be the little dummy that they would practice on. And I just always appreciated that. They always seemed so caring, and that was just part of their job, and that's what I love most. Traveling. My uncle traveled to Guyana, and because he is a nurse, he went and visited the hospitals, and he saw that the healthcare over there is not the same as in America. And that's also what inspired me to want to become not only a nurse, but a traveling nurse, because I want to go to different countries and help people that don't necessarily have the opportunity or chances up here to have the same health. Like in Guyana, the hospitals are not close. The hospitals are miles away. So if you're dying or if you need someone to help take care of you, you're most likely, I'm not going to say you're going to die, but it's a lower chance of you surviving because things are so spread out and resources are limited. Okay. And the last thing that truly made me want to become a nurse was my aunt. She had shoulder surgery, and I was the only one who had to take care of her because it was the summer, and my mom and everyone else were at work, so I ended up taking care of her that entire summer. And I just realized I loved it. I had to give her medication, I had to make sure her blood pressure wasn't too high. She was a diabetic and she didn't like taking her medication, so I had to make sure I took her blood and tested her blood sugar and her glucose to make sure that she was okay. And I just realized that I'm somewhat of a caring person, and I just really love taking care of my aunt, even though she drove me crazy. So all in all, I have a very loud, crazy personality, but I love to help others. My dream is to become a nurse in the next 4 years, and hopefully I can accomplish that here at SUNY Cal High.